Is he still here?
Did we do it? Oh my God.
We're here.
This is why I hate technology. I hate it.
Hey, I miss you. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does. It's a whole mess. So
when it works, it's wonderful. When it doesn't, I hate it. I'm going to mount you. I'm having trouble keeping it up.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good.
How's that? All right.
Great. Perfect.
Thank God.
I know. I'm so glad we're finally here. Before we get into this, I would just like to say thank you so much for coming and joining me today. It is an absolute honor and a privilege to be able to speak to you today. You've been a major part of my childhood from games like Mortal Kombat and Transformers. It's just been such an honor to be able to have you on. So
keep going. There's over 600. I want you to name every one of them.
Oh my God. No, but literally there's like 600, and it's so amazing that you've been in this industry so long. You played Gladiator from X-Men, like I said, Skywar, Hanzo from Naruto.
It's Mohammed from Kuwait. I'm saying hi to him.
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
But there's so many you've played. You've been in Legend of Korra, which I didn't know you were until I looked it up.
Yeah, Legend of Korra was a great time. I love being part of that show. It was really a fun show.
Did you watch Avatar: The Last Airbender?
You know, I haven't seen the previous one yet. I know it's supposed to be incredible, but I just recently, I'm so busy. It's really terrible. I don't get a chance to see a lot of the stuff that I'm in a lot of times. So I just recently finally watched Legend of Korra recently, if you can believe it or not, and I just really loved it. Those guys, Brian and I'm forgetting the other gentleman's name who produced it and wrote it. And those guys were so talented and wonderful, and they put together an incredible show, I thought.
Yeah, it shows. It was good for a lot of people. Aren't the biggest fan of Legend of Korra, and I kind of
bastards.
I like Legend of Korra. My little brother loves that show. Like he watched it like multiple times. He watches it before he goes to bed at night. He really loves that show.
I loved it. I was hoping they would have another season where the chief could come back and be a bigger pain in the butt. But
right.
But no, I really loved working with those guys. It was great. What a great cast. They had some of the amazing people in that show, and
like D. Bradley Baker, and
D's always a blast to work with. He's a lovely person, and a great guy, and a fellow Denver Coloradian. We both are born and grew up in Denver, so there you go.
Wow.
But he's a great guy, and there was so many people: Mindy Sterling and Janet Varney, who played the lead, and Lance Hendrickson was in it, and David Faustino was in it, and J.K. Simmons was in. I mean, we had what an incredible cast. I mean, to go in there, and it was really nice because most of the stuff that I do, like games and some of the animation I do, we recorded one character at a time, so you really don't get to see many of these guys. But when we did Korra, we did it like the old-fashioned way, where we had the cast in, and you were actually reading with the cast. And I love working like that because you get to work off of the other actors, and it's just really a fun way to do it. And sadly, they don't do it that way very much anymore because it's hard to get everybody in a room at the same time. But I just had a blast. Maurice LaMarche was in that show. I mean, there's so many good people. I have a quick funny story about that. Andrea Romano, who's the director of that show, who I love. She's a terrific lady and wonderful director. And I'm sad that she's not directing anymore. I really love working with her. But one day there was some efforts for one of Maurice LaMarche's characters. And she said, "Richard, will you do his efforts for him?" And I said, "Sure, if he'll share his Emmy with me." So
that is so cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really a fun time.
Some cool things I found out about you about researching some things to ask you about is that I didn't even know this, and I freaked out when I found out that you did. But you co-directed Batman: Arkham Origins. What was that experience like?
Yeah, that was great. I mean, that was a terrific show to work on. and the cast was terrific. We had so much fun with that. And that was a huge undertaking. It was so big that we had to have two directors, and Amanda Wyatt would direct in one room, and I would direct in another room. And you know, I was directing the stuff in Warner Brothers ADR1, which is the stage where they record all of the TV and movie stuff. So just to be a director in that, you know, environment was incredible. And you know, going to work at Warner Brothers to work on a Batman project was one of the coolest things I've ever done. I love being at Warner Brothers. I love working on anything Batman. You know, I'm a huge Batman fan, and my wife and I actually met Bob Kane years ago and talked to him, and so and I've got a lot of stuff in the Batman universe. I'm the Joker in several Batman games, and Injustice, Gods Among Us, and in Mortal Kombat 11, I'm the Joker, and Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, and also I'm Commissioner Gordon in Batman Unlimited, and I've been in a few other Solomon Grundy. I played a few other characters in some of the Batman cartoon shows. So it was anything to do with Batman. I love Batman. So that was very, very fun.
Are you excited for the new Justice League movie coming out soon?
I am excited. I am excited. Is Ben going to be in it? Ben
yes,
Affleck?
Ben
Oh,
Affleck
good.
Yes.
Good. You know, I was really looking forward to him doing his own Batman movie, which was going to happen, and it kind of got the kibosh or something. But I thought from what I saw in Batman versus Superman, I really liked what he did with Batman, and I just thought, yeah, my favorite scene in that whole movie is when he goes and rescues Superman's mom. You know, I just thought that was worth the whole price of admission right there. The rest of the movie I wasn't too crazy about, but that one scene where he goes in and just kicks butt, it was like, wow, that's Batman. That was really cool.
Ben Affleck is amazing. To speak on the movie real quick, the movie sounded like it was going to be, and I don't say this lightly, it was going to be one of the best Batman movies ever made. The way it was described and how he described it is very much based off of the Arkham video games, where Batman is like locked in Arkham Asylum and stuff, but Deathstroke was going to be in it, and Deathstroke was going to terrorize like Batman mentally and like kill a bunch of people close to him and like just break him down. It was going to be like a character study filled with action, and we were going to see it was, oh my god, I'm so mad.
I wish we would. There was a great fight scene in Arkham Origins with Deathstroke and Batman at the beginning. There was an incredible. I mean, it was to me, it was even better than anything live action. It just looked so incredible. They did such a great job on the animation in that thing.
Did you direct Roger Craig Smith? I got to speak to him. He's really cool. Batman, really good.
I didn't, but I worked with him on several occasions, and actually, he was our Batman on Batman Unlimited. So, and he is a lovely, lovely guy, really super nice guy, and so it was always fun working with him. And he just, he has the same thing. He just really loves being part of anything Batman, and he just was thrilled to be, part of it.
Another thing I've said about you is that you play drums, and I'm a huge drum kid. I love drums. It's one of my favorite instruments of all time. Funny story was I have this Mitchell guitar right here. And I didn't want this. I wanted my drums. And I told my mom, I was like, hey, can I please have drums? And she said, absolutely not. And she gave me a guitar instead. So I'm playing guitar, but I love me some guitar. So what's that like? And were you ever a part of a band?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, I still play from time to time. I was with a band, it must have been about 5 or so years ago, called the LA River Band, and we played all over town. We played at the Viper Room. We played at Hard Rock Cafe. We played at a bunch of big venues, and it was funny because a lot of the people would come out because they were fans of my voice work, and they would come out to see me play drums. But Jim Cummings is a drummer also. There's a lot of drummers in this business, and the thing is, I think that particularly in when you're dubbing, like when we do like Lupin the Third or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and you're dubbing and replacing the dialogue, there's a real rhythm to it, real rhythm to that stuff. So being a drummer really helped immensely. Thank you guys for your lovely comments. Wow. Someone wrote a nice comment about my Joker, and I appreciate that.
I'm a huge fan of Joker, and what was so funny today is I didn't know that was you, and I was like, really like, this can't be him. And I watched the interview of you doing the Joker's voice, and my jaw like dropped. I freaked out. I was like, this is really the Joker. Because I really love your Joker, and I'm very much. I have to break out of this, but I'm very much like a purist when it comes to like characters. Like when it comes to Batman, it's Kevin Conroy or it's nothing. Like I'm very like that's just me though. And I need to break out of that. I don't know hate to all the voice actors that have done their amazing work as those characters, but it's like I just whenever I read a comic book or see a piece of like written media for Batman, it's Kevin Conroy. It can't be anyone else. Or like with Joker, Mark Hamill is like been Joker for like what over like 20 years since animation.
Yeah, he's been doing a long time. Both those guys have been doing a long time. Yeah,
been in this industry for a long time. But your Joker is out of this world. I'm a huge fan of that. We're gonna talk more about that later on. But I'm a gigantic fan of the Joker. If I could turn the poster here, you can see it.
I see Yoda. Right? Oh, there's the Joker. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. It was based off of a comic book cover that I bought one of my friends gave to me a while ago. And you've been in both Injustice games, Mortal Kombat 11, Infinite Crisis, and apparently you did a ride as the Joker, which is really cool. So
yeah, it's called Joker's Funhouse, and it's in Dubai, and it's I believe it's Warner Brothers amusement park. And I said to the guys when we were doing it, I said, you know, I want to. Can you take me over there and show me the thing when it's finished? They said no, we can't do that. But if I'm ever in Dubai, which is not that a remote possibility, when everything gets back to normal, because we do. You know, my wife and I. My wife is a wonderful voice actor and director in her own right, and we do a lot of conventions all over the world, and so. You know, they may invite us out there one of these days, and if we ever get out there, I'm definitely taking that ride. But yeah, Tara Strong was in it, you know, played Harley Quinn, and I think Kevin Conroy did the Batman voice in it, and we had a great cast, a really great cast, and it was really fun. I mean, it's called Joker's Funhouse, and you know, I'm the main event in the thing, so that was really cool. You know, you mentioned Mark Hamill, who is a really great guy. Here's what happened. You know, when I first did the Joker, everyone came out and said I was trying to sound like Mark, which I said was interesting because I've never actually heard Mark's Joker. And to this day, that's true. I've never heard Mark do the Joker. And he wrote back, well, I've heard yours and it's wonderful. So I thought that was really nice of him. I mean, he didn't have to say that. And so that made my day. And I thought that was really cool. And he's just a really nice person as well. And listen, you know, he's been doing it a long, long time. And, you know, but, you know, I'm a huge, as you can tell by my posters, I'm a huge James Bond fan. And my favorite James Bond was Sean Connery, the original James Bond. But I still appreciate and enjoy all of the other actors' incarnations of James Bond. And, you know, it's, you know, this is what happens when you play an iconic character. There's going to be many, many actors. You know, even on screen, you see all the different actors playing the Joker. You know, this is, he's an iconic character. And it's, you know, even after Mark and I are gone, there's going to be, you know, actors playing these characters. And, you know, Batman, there's going to be, you know, people playing Batman, you know, forever. So it's just one of those things. And, you know, you can either like their take on the character or not like their take on it. But, you know, everybody has their own version or their own thing that they bring to the character, you know.
I will always appreciate that about whatever actor comes to the role of like popular characters. Like Optimus Prime is another example. If it's not Peter Cullen, I'm usually kind of like iffy when it comes to. But I can always appreciate when people bring something new. And what I always say about when actors do these iconic characters, they fit the role that they play in the TV show, the game, or the anime. You know, so they fit, and I will always appreciate that. Except for sometimes where it just sounds awful, but most of the time it sounds great. So, but most of the time it sounds great. I'm very open to.
Well, there's been a few hit and misses, you know. So, you know, with anything, you know, and it happens sometimes. But I think every actor, worth their salt is going to try to do their best job, regardless of what it is, and try to do, a good job, and give it their all. So, everyone, like I say, everyone brings a little something different to the table.
You said you never heard Mark.
Hi,
Hamill's
Dieter.
Joker.
There's my buddy Dieter Jensen.
Oh, welcome.
Huh?
Do you want to hear Mark Hamill's Joker right now?
No, I don't.
No?
I don't want to hear it.
Okay. All right.
I really don't want to hear it, and the reason I don't want to hear it is because I don't want it in my head when I'm doing my Joker. I just,
okay.
One day I will listen to Mark's, and I'm sure it's wonderful. Listen, everybody loves him. He's very beloved, and the fans are they go crazy over him, and I'm sure rightfully so. But I just, for me, I just don't want to. I'd rather, when I do a character, I just like to come to it from my own point of view, and I don't want to necessarily hear somebody else's, and the worst thing for me as an actor is when I'm in the booth and they go, "Can you sound like so-and-so?" And it's like, my first reaction is, well, why don't you get so-and-so to do this? I'm going to bring what I'm going to bring to it. If you want somebody else, or you want me to sound like somebody else, then it's just like, it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah. It's like Roger Moore going in there and trying to do, a Sean Connery impersonation. He has to play that character the way he sees that character, and try to be different, and I think they've all done that. I think they've all done a really good job of bringing something different to that character. So
I can imagine how that could get in the way. You hear the voice, you always want to bring something new. Like you like, let's say you're doing like a legacy character, and then you're hearing I don't know, their voice. You're gonna be like, oh gosh, I'm trying to reach to that, and then fans are gonna do what fans do regardless of whatever you try. Let's be honest, like you can try yeah.
When I first got the Joker, I got a lot of hate mail. People were like, because they didn't know what I was going to do. They thought, for some reason, I guess they thought I was going to try to do the Joker and sound like Bateau in Ghost in the Shell for some reason. And it's like, why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense at all. So, I think when a lot of them finally heard it, they go, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. That sounds like the Joker. So they as I've gone along, I've gotten more and more people to really like it and enjoy it. So I'm happy about that. And the same thing happened when I was Ansem in Kingdom Hearts. Billy Zane did the first Kingdom Hearts, and then I've done like 7 or 8 of them now. So he did one, and I did all those other ones. But there's still people who say, I love Billy Zane, he was great. And listen, I don't take that away from anybody. A lot of times the first person you're exposed to playing a character, that sticks in your head, and you kind of like that. But when I went in to do the second Kingdom Hearts, I had no idea that Billy Zane did it. I didn't know what he sounded like. I didn't know anything about it, and we just came about it with by our own accord. And then over the years, it's gotten a lot more. My version has gotten a lot more popular. So it's nice. It's nice when you can win the fans over, the skeptical fans.
Absolutely. What's one childhood memory that you have that you remember fondly of?
A childhood memory? Oh my God, that's going way back, isn't it? A childhood memory that I remember. Well, I was just talking to my wife. It was kind of funny. She was asking me what one was one of my first memories, and this is kind of a bizarre thing, but I just remember being a little kid and we were traveling with my family. When I grew up, people wouldn't jump on the plane so much as they would get in the car with the family and drive somewhere. And I grew up in Denver, and so we would go, a lot of times we would go to Vegas, and then we go to either LA or we go to San Francisco, someplace like that, for a summer vacation. And it was always a lot of fun, and I really love those trips. And those are like my fondest memories of being a kid. And my mom would always read us a book in the car. I don't know how she did that without getting a headache, but she would read us a whole book, when we were on these trips, to kill the time while we were driving. And it was just really a fun time growing up, and I really remember that fondly.
I sadly didn't go on trips much. I do remember being a kid and like playing outside, and I remember one memory, me and my friend, we were playing, and he got like a railroad track from like a Ben 10 action doll or whatever, action figure thing, and he went whack, and he hit me on the arm with it, and he just went bam, and it hurt so bad. I remember
Oh my God.
He felt bad after, so don't be like he's trying to kill me, but he felt like really bad after. but hey, I got him back because I took his Soundwave action figure from the Transformers Energon line, and I snapped it in half, so we both got each other. We're even.
Sounds like a lovely, lovely relationship.
Man, I haven't talked to him since I left New York. I'm in Georgia right now, but also welcome. But yeah, I come from New York, so it's very much a different scene from New York to Georgia. So you said you come from Colorado. What was the move like from Colorado to Los Angeles?
Well, you know, it's a very different thing. You know, Denver. I loved growing up in Denver. Denver was a great city, and Denver has something that LA doesn't have, which is a real community feeling. And so when you grow up in Denver, you have a real sense of community. You really don't so much in LA, but there are pockets of places that are nice. We're in a nice little pocket here, and you know, it feels really nice. Listen, I've lived in LA longer than I've lived anywhere else in my life, and I really enjoy it. I think it's a great city, and there's so much to do here. And you know, any kind of, you know, I'm talking about before the pandemic and after the pandemic, but any kind of food you want, you can find here. Any kind of entertainment you want, you can find here. I mean, it's a great city. The weather usually is really nice, which I love. People say, don't you miss the seasons? It's like, no, I don't miss the seasons. I love the sunshine. I have a convertible. I put the top down. I love getting the sun. And, you know, I don't miss the snow. I used to have to shovel the snow in Denver, which I didn't like very much at all. I hated that. Where are you based out of?
Yeah, so I'm in Georgia now, so I get no snow at all, and I hate it so much. But we're different like that. I love the snow. You
love the snow. See, my wife grew up in LA, and she, for years, she used to drag me and the kids to Big Bear for the snow. And we went there one time, and you know, there was blue skies, and we went in this place, and the guy kept saying to me, do you want to buy some chains for your tires? You want to buy some chains? I said, why do I want to buy chains? He goes, well, it's supposed to snow tomorrow. I said, how much are the chains? He said, $100. I said, how much are they if they snows? He said, they're $200. I said, no, I don't think. I mean, I looked outside. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. I said, I don't need chains. So anyway, of course, the next day I wake up and the car's covered in snow. Right. So I go back and I buy the chains for $200. And while I'm in there, my son was very young at the time, and he's in the car with the heater going and the radio blasting, and I'm trying to put the chains on the tires. My fingers are frozen, and I'm trying to do the thing. He rolls down the window and says, hurry up, Dad, and rolls it back up, and I've got like frostbite fingers. And I said to myself, I hate the snow. I'm never coming back here. So that was it.
Wow. Some of my fondest memories of my childhood is my mom. There's this big parking thing she used to go into and put her car, and I'd have to shovel the snow. I remember being a kid hating it, but I don't know, just something about just doing that was like, I don't get it here anymore. It sucks. The only thing I get is like very cold weather, and even when you live in Georgia, the weather is so bipolar. Like right now, it's like it's nice weather. It's very nice, like shorts, cargo shorts weather, but it switches. Sometimes it's like cold as heck, and you need like a big bubble winter jacket on, and then it just goes to heat. So it's very weird, but
and it gets a little muggy in Georgia too, doesn't it?
Man,
yeah.
Yes. So
now, what part are you in? Are you in Atlanta?
Around Atlanta, yeah.
Okay, because I miss doing the Dragon Cons. Those were a lot of fun. I had so much fun doing those. Those are great.
The first time I went to one was sorry.
No, I hope, I look forward to when the conventions come back and we can go out and meet everybody again. I really miss that interaction with everybody. It just was a lot of fun.
How did you adjust to this pandemic when it first hit?
Well,
you just now. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's just insane. we've never really, in my lifetime, never really experienced anything like this. But, you know, listen, it happened 100 years ago, you know, with the Spanish flu. They had the same thing, and that lasted for like 5 years. So in a way, we're lucky. We're lucky we have technology. And, you know, at the time, we didn't have any kind of a leader to help us to do anything to make this better. I mean, if you look at, you know, China and some of these other countries, Israel, they got on it immediately, and they got, you know, they got on it, and everybody came together and worked together, and you know, and they got rid of it. And New Zealand, they got rid of it, and our country just didn't really get their act together until we got a new president. So you know, we're trying to play catch up right now, and I'm just hoping that you know, please, anyone who's listening to this, get vaccinated if you have the opportunity. It's really important. Everybody needs to get vaccinated. And when they get, you know, everybody gets vaccinated, hopefully it'll all go back to normal. We can all go hang out together, go to movies, go to concerts, go to restaurants, and not be worried about dying, you know? So
I miss movies so much. Like, I really miss movie theaters. And
yeah.
Yeah,
I had a huge movie, Lupin the Third, the First, which is a beautiful CGI movie, which I played Jigen in, and I also did the English adaptation for it. And that came out in theaters, and sadly it came out during the pandemic, so I'm sure it didn't do very well. And, you know, I wish they would have postponed it like they're doing with the new Bond movie. They're just going to postpone it till it's safe to go back into the theaters. And I think that's the way you have to do it now. You know, I think it's ludicrous to release movies now in theaters until everyone's inoculated and it's safe to go back, you know.
My mom is thinking about getting us a vaccine sometime soon. I think she was like thinking about doing it April, when the Johnson & Johnson thing comes out, where it's like one shot, you don't have to go like twice. Because I know with the Moderna and Pfizer one, you have to like get one dose and then have to come back the next time for the second. So I think we're waiting on that. But
yeah, somebody said I had a really bad headache the next day. Well, you know, honestly, on the second one, I got the Moderna. My wife and I got the Moderna. The first one, I had no reaction to at all. It was fine. And the second one, they said it's going to be a little bad. Although I heard the Pfizer one's not so bad, but the Moderna one's a little rougher. But we had the Moderna, and I did get really kind of ill from it. But I also drank afterwards, which was stupid. You're not supposed to do that. I didn't know that, but I drank and I did get really ill. But you know, listen, whatever it is, you know, it was a day or two of inconvenience. You know, not feeling great, but you know, now we feel we're covered and we're, you know, safe. So, you know, I just think that whatever the little side effects are, you get a headache or you feel, you know, nauseous or you feel a little chill, you know, get chills, whatever, for a day or two, is worth, you know, being safe the rest of your life and not dying from this stuff or having to be on a ventilator. So,
right.
I just think it's really, really important that everybody gets vaccinated.
How did voice acting get introduced into your life? Because I know you come from like an on-stage, on-camera background. So how did that get introduced to you?
Well, you know, I came out to LA to be an on-camera actor. I did a lot of soap operas and I did a lot of TV shows and that sort of thing. And it's actually my wife. My wife's responsible for all this stuff. She was doing some movie, and they had another movie that they didn't like the actors in, and they wanted to replace all the actors' voices. So she said, well, can my boyfriend, I was her boyfriend at the time, that's how long ago it was. So can my boyfriend come in for an audition? They said, sure. So I went in there and the guy said, have you ever done this before? I said, oh, I've done it a million times. I never did it before in my life. And I went in and I took to it like a duck to water because of the drumming and my acting background. And the drumming really served me well with that because it was, you know, I had to dub the guy's voice. And it's, like I said, there's a rhythm to it. So the fact that I was a drummer and the fact that I was an actor really worked well for me, and they liked my voice. And I started doing a bunch of projects for them. Both of us did. And then from that, I got into Robotech, which was a huge anime that was on national television at the time, which was kind of unheard of at the time. And that kind of blew up. And from then, I just got in one show after another, and I just haven't stopped working for, God, I don't know how many, it's 30, 40 years now. It's been kind of crazy, but yeah.
Did you ever imagine you'd be in this industry for that long when you first started out?
Well, you know, you hope you are, and you know, in a way, it's been a real blessing because, you know, there's so many people on camera. It's just so tough and so competitive. And, you know, 200 people go out for like a 5-line role. It's ridiculous. And it's really hard to make a living at that. And even though that's, you know, I love that. And that's my first love, but, and I'd love to do more of that. But, you know, this thing has been really a godsend in many ways. And I've just, because I'm working all the time, even during the pandemic, and I've got a booth in my office. And, you know, I record stuff here. I've recorded a bunch of games while I've been here. I've recorded a bunch of stuff and working on new projects. I'm going to be directing a new Lupin movie from home. And we're going to be doing all the characters remotely, which is crazy, but that's the way we're going to do it. And, my wife just directed something for Netflix. She directed the whole thing and worked on it for like a month or so. And it came out great. And but yeah, that's the way people are doing stuff right now. They're recording, everyone's recording from home because the people that are really big in this business, they have their own setups at home now. You know, they have their own a really good setup. So that's the way it's been going right now, you know.
What do you record in? Do you record in like a walk-in closet, or do you have like a box?
No, I have a booth. It's called a Whisper Room. It's a company that makes actual booths. And yeah, I'll show you. Let's take a little tour of the booth here. Let's see if we can get up here. This is I just want to show you some of my. I don't know if you can see some of this stuff here. This is, can you see that? That's my Ansem that my buddy Ben Shinfield just sent me from England, and then some Joker stuff. Here's a Raiden. This Joker was really cool. This was, I did can you see him?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did it's kind of hard to control like this, but I did an interview for, what's the name of the company that makes all of these figures?
Sideshow Collectibles?
Which is it?
Sideshow? Sideshow. I don't know.
I think that's who it is. I did an interview from, they have a magazine that they did, and they sent me this thing, and you can see how tall, it's really tall. It's incredible. And the work on it is amazing. I mean, it's just really great. And then here's another Joker I have. And here's my Batman. And then I've got a bunch of, here's Jigen. And I've got all the Lupin and the gang and some other stuff. And there's Fujiko. And there's Bato from Ghost in the Shell. And there's Armor Hide from Transformers. And Bobobo from Bobobo. And there's Raiden. And there's Joseph Joestar. And those are my Bond guys in the back. And Bato. And this is Gladiator from X-Men. So anyway, this is my booth.
Whoa.
And then here's my mic. I got a Neumann, which is a really nice microphone. And then I can control everything from inside my booth. And then I've got my this is and it's, it's tiny, but I've recorded a lot of games and a lot of different shows in there, a lot of animation and some commercials for the radio I've recorded in there, and just a bunch of stuff. So that's what we do. That's what we're doing. And then I have, my setup here in my desk. I have, this is my command center. So like when my wife goes in the booth, I can control everything out here and do all the editing and everything. And usually I record everything in there, and then I come out here and I edit everything to send it out.
That is actually really cool. You have so many figures. That's really dope. I have a ton of figures too. I have a big Batman one over there. I have a Grimlock action figure I bought yesterday in my room because I'm a huge Transformers fan, and we'll talk about that too. But main reason I wanted to speak to you is we're in the middle of something I call Mortal Kombat March, where I'm talking to people associated with Mortal Kombat in anticipation for the new movie coming out in April. I know you say you didn't get to see the trailer, but I'm telling you, once you do, you're gonna fall in love. It looks so good. Raiden looks dope in it. The staff that he has is like a lightning dragon, and it like has lightning and stuff around it, and it like glows. There's Shang Tsung in it, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Sonya Blade, Jackson's in it. Sub-Zero like breaks his arms in the movie. It's really dope effects. Yeah, and Sub-Zero I assume was gonna be the main villain. It's very different from. Have you seen the original Mortal Kombat movies in the 90s?
I actually worked on that. I did voice work on that.
What? Wait, really? Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. My next question was gonna be what was your experience with Mortal Kombat before working on the games?
Yeah, that was it. I went on that, and I remember always having a fond feeling for Mortal Kombat and all that, and so I worked on that, and I guess Ed Boon also, the guy, the creator of Mortal Kombat, also worked on it and did some voice work on it. But I did a bunch of voice work on it, when they were doing that movie, and that movie came out, and so it's kind of interesting, that I got involved with it years later and became Raiden. I'll tell you, the audition that I went on to be part of Mortal Kombat was one of my favorite auditions I've ever done in my life, because I went in there and they had Warner Brothers on the line, and they had DC Comics on the line, and they had NetherRealm Studios on the line, and they were all listening to us. And I basically went in there and I said, what do they want? They said, well, they want you to read all the characters. So I had to read all the DC characters, and I had to read all the Mortal Kombat characters. And my two favorites, they said at the end of it, they said, well, who did you like doing? And I liked doing them all, but the one that really stuck out was the Joker, obviously, because he's such a incredible character. And that, I don't even know where that just came out of me from somewhere. And Raiden, I love doing Raiden. And so the actor never gets to choose who he gets to play, unless you're Brad Pitt or somebody like that, and you're producing the movie. But they asked me, and I said, well, I love the Joker and I love Raiden. And then literally a day or two later, they called me and they booked me for both those parts. So that was amazing. I've been playing them both for over 12 years now. So it's been really a fun ride, and it's been a great group. And I love the guys at NetherRealm. I think they're incredible. I think every game gets better and better and better. And the visuals on her are just phenomenal. I mean, they just look incredible. So I'm really, really thrilled to be, part of that franchise.
I love Mortal Kombat so much. I remember my first Mortal Kombat playing was Mortal Kombat 9, which came out in 2011, and then I went backwards, and I either played Mortal Kombat 9 or Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe first. I'm pretty sure I played Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe because that game wasn't R-rated, and I couldn't play R-rated games at the time. But I still did play Mortal Kombat 9, the R-rated version, when I was growing up. But I remember hearing your voice as Joker and Raiden, and you're my favorite Raiden. I mean, you are the definitive Raiden in my opinion, and everyone's opinion that I've seen online is you are Raiden. No one could replace or do what you've done as that character, and I completely agree. You bring such you bring so much to this character that people love. You bring this calm and tough demeanor that Raiden needs, and just this commanding voice that is just it's so cool. I love it. It's really dope. And
Thank you.
What I was gonna ask is, what characteristics of Raiden do you see in yourself?
Well, I really love Raiden because I think Raiden is really a noble character. He's a really honorable, good person, and I mean, there's been a couple of times where he encouraging, supportive character, and there's been some scenes with Raiden where he's in these situations where he's just trying to bolster the other character, and I just really like that about him. I just think he's really an honorable, good character, and I love playing those kinds of characters. And and he's a god. That doesn't hurt either. But he's really kind of the yin and yang of the Joker. The Joker's the opposite. He's just really despicable. He's a really despicable character, and there's really nothing redeeming about him except, I guess, he's funny. And people say they like the Joker because he's funny. He's funny, but he would gut you like a fish, for a nickel. So, I mean, he's just he's really a horrible, horrible character. So it's really it's kind of bizarre when, you know, I'm playing the two of the characters together, you know, they're talking to each other, and I'm playing this great, you know, really good person and this really horrible evil person. So, you know, it's fun as an actor. It's really a lot of fun to play these different characters. You know?
Yeah, Raiden has done some things that I've been against, like in Mortal Kombat 9 when he electrocuted Liu Kang and killed him, which was very very iffy. Or in the beginning of Mortal Kombat 11 when he came back and he was like, his eyes were red and he was like evil and they had to like stop him. I can't remember what happened. He's like, oh, what was it? I think the medallion in his chest was like messing with him or something and like made him evil.
Well, they corrupted his Jinsei chamber, and he became a little corrupt. But you know what? I kind of liked him a little corrupt in a way, because he just wouldn't take any crap from anybody. He just said, "Look, you mess with us, and you're going to be screwed." And I kind of like that in a way. You know, he just said, "Enough of this, you know, Mr. Nice Guy stuff. We're gonna come after you, and we're gonna destroy you." And I kind of liked that he was, you know, just kind of stepping up, and they just, you know, did whatever he had to do, like cut off Chinook's head, you know, and all that. I mean, it was he was dark. He was dark, but he just basically said, "Don't mess with us, or, you know, you're going to be in trouble."
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked that about him, you know. Sometimes you have to put your foot down, you know, and he definitely did.
Yeah, definitely in a big way. I can only imagine all the people you worked with.
Thirsty for Chicken said it's because of Raiden. It was Shinnok's amulet, which was inherently evil, I'm assuming. It's always Shinnok's fault. It's Troy Baker. We'll blame him.
Troy Baker, yeah. I was gonna ask, you worked with like so many people in this industry that you've been in projects with. Like Troy Baker was the main villain in that one. Steve Bloom, you probably worked with. He's Sub-Zero. He's also Legend of Korra as Amon.
Yes, yeah. No, Steve and I are really good friends, and we've known each other for a long time, and we're good pals. And I know Troy, of course. We've worked together a million times, and you know, when Troy first moved here from Texas, I hired him in a bunch of stuff and directed him and all kinds of stuff. So, he's another Joker. Yeah, he is another Joker.
He was in Batman Arkham Origins. Yeah,
he did Arkham Origins. That's right. That bastard. No, but they, you know, when they did Arkham Origins, you know, because as I told you, I co-directed that, and I said, you know, hey, I do the Joker too, you know. And they said, well, we want a much younger Joker. I said, oh, okay, great. So you're trying to tell me I'm an old washed up Joker. Is that what you're telling me? So anyway.
Did you get a chance to work with Ed Boon? Because I'm a big fan of Ed Boon. And
you know, in all the years I've done this, I've never met Ed. And I did something, and I really feel bad about this. And I did it innocently, but somebody posted something on you know, the internet about Bruce Campbell, that he was going to be part of the Pack 3 and that he was going to bring his Ash character. And I had seen that, and I thought that was I mean, the way they mocked it up like a legitimate NetherRealm announcement thing. So I saw that, and then my wife and I were having a signing online, and somebody asked me that question, and I said, yeah, because I'd seen this thing, and I thought, yeah, I thought that was, I thought they were going to have, you know, Ash, and oh my God, I got in a lot of trouble for that. So they were not happy about that at all, because apparently it was like a real bone of contention with them, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on with it. So for legal reasons, they couldn't get that character or something. I don't know what happened, but anyway, he's not going to be in it. So please stop asking me. And I spoke out of turn. I was completely wrong to say that. I should have never said anything about that, and I feel bad about that because they were upset. But you know, last time I was in Chicago, where the NetherRealm studios are, I did a convention in Chicago. And I met with Dom, who's the director and writer of a lot of the show, and he's just a great guy. And he and Brian were the two guys that were working with me at the time. And we went out for dinner. We had a great time. Sadly, I had to leave the next day to go back to LA. But they said, it's too bad you're not here for another day, because we'd love to take you to the studio and show you around. And he said, there's still people in the company that don't believe that the same guy does the Joker and Raiden. They said they don't believe it. So we want you to come and do the voice for them. And I said, sure, I'd be happy to do that. So if I ever get back to Chicago, and if they're talking to me at that point, after this Bruce Campbell debacle, I hope that I can get to see a tour of the NetherRealm Studios and meet with everybody and meet Ed finally, because I'm a huge fan of his. He's created an incredible world, an incredible franchise, and he's done an amazing job. They've all done an amazing job, and the people that work on this game, they're incredible. And the writing has been so incredible. I mean, they really give me great stuff to say, and it makes a huge difference. When you have good people writing your dialogue for you, then when you have crappy scripts and you have to try to make something work with the crappy script instead of having a really good script and bringing it to life, it makes a big difference.
Right. Speaking of dialogue, what is your favorite Raiden quote?
Oh my God, I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. You can ask me my favorite Raiden. There are fates worse than death.
Did in the voice. Oh gosh, I love that voice. I really love that voice of Raiden. Such a cool voice, and I would keep saying that you're the definitive Raiden. That I go to.
Thank God I'm the definitive something, for God's sakes.
Oh yeah.
I keep stepping in for other people, doing roles that somebody else originated, and they bring me in, and then I usually get like backlash from the fandom, and then they accept me after a while. They go, "Oh, you're great, we love you," but it's like the first part of it is, "We hate you, get out," and then they finally come around. So
most people love you. I see so much love for your Raiden character, and I hope you see that online as well for your character as Raiden. I know people make like memes and make like collages of your Raiden and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's fabulous. I love it, of course.
What is your favorite Raiden costume?
Oh, I love he's got the gold chest plate. I'm looking at it right now. I've got, actually the toy I've got has got my favorite costume. I just love that outfit. He looks so regal and just really badass in that thing. And he's just such an incredible character. I really love this character, and I love what they've done with him, and I must consult with the elder gods.
Boom. Boom! I was waiting. I was waiting. I was waiting. I was gonna say that. I was like, he's gotta say.
The elder gods are actually that's Raiden's accountants. So when he says, "I must consult with the elder gods," he's got to go ask his accountant. Can I buy the convertible? Is it in the?
Yes. Okay, that's literally the perfect description for the elder gods, because he always goes to them and talks to them about doing stuff and such like that. But.
Apparently, he didn't ask the elder gods if it was okay to cut Shinnok's head off. He didn't talk to him about it at that point, so maybe that's why he's got to talk to him.
For the story, he complimented the story, and I, of course, love the story. I love what they're doing and where they're going. The ending of Mortal Kombat 11, when Raiden gave his powers to Liu Kang to like make his own dimension again after Chronica came in and did her thing. So I was gonna ask, what is your favorite storyline with Raiden? Was it MK9, MK versus DC Universe, or MKX, or MK11?
I love the 11. I think 11 was incredible. I love that whole Dark Raiden thing, and then I loved it. I wasn't crazy about the end though, because he lost all of his powers. Now he's just a regular guy. What the hell? But I hope he comes back and he has his powers again.
Someone asked, how long have you been voicing Raiden?
12 years.
So yeah, since 2008 with Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe.
Yeah, that was the first one, and thank God I've been doing them ever since. So, and you know what? I go back and I listen to the original ones, and my Raiden has grown a lot over the years. It's gotten better, and I thank God for that, because there's so many times you don't get a chance to really grow with a character, and I think it's really nice to be able to keep playing this character and finding different things about him and different nuances about him, and I just think it's gotten better over the years. I really do.
How has the MK experience helped you grow as a VA with this character?
Well, I think it's he's a wonderful character. He's I think anytime you do, like I said, iconic characters like Raiden and Joker and characters like that the average people, the average public people would recognize, because I've done so many characters, but there's a lot of people you meet on the street and I'll go, I've done this and this and this, and they'll look at you like, who the hell is that? But with Joker, everybody knows the Joker and everybody knows Raiden. So I mean, it's really nice to do these iconic characters that people know, so they kind of get an idea of what you're doing.
Speaking of iconic characters,
I was just saying, you meet a guy on the street and they say, I did bobo 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 bo, and they look at you like you're insane. So
like you was in your mind, right? But speaking of iconic characters, another iconic franchise you were in was Street Fighter as Akuma. I was gonna ask, what does that do to your voice? Because Akuma is very like grouchy, like sweet, like very deep. So what does that do?
It's either doing that part or just drinking battery acid. It has the same effect on your throat. And when I did that character, I was really, really super busy, and they had to trying to remember. I just went up on his name. The guy who directs it. Oh my God, he's a lovely guy, and I want to say it's John, but I could be wrong. But anyway, he wanted to spread it out over a bunch of days, because he said it's really hard on your, and it's really tough. It's that kind of voice, He's like all that, down in there the whole time.
Yeah,
and it gets really kind of rough. What happened was I didn't have a lot of time to do it, so we had to do the entire thing in 2 days, and it really killed me. It kicked my butt. I mean, it really did kill me. We got through it, and thank God I still have a throat after that. But yeah, he's a tough one. He is a tough one. But which is why I like Raiden so much. Raiden is just basically, he doesn't get really angry or scream all that much. When he's fighting or gets hurt, it's you have those reactions, but it's not screaming. That's another thing. Some of the games like a Call of Duty or those kinds of games where you're just basically screaming your butt off for hours. Those games are really tough. They're really tough because you're screaming constantly for hours, and it's really hard on your voice. So you really have to know what you're doing so you don't blow out your pipes. But those are tough. Those are the tough ones. The ones where you're conversational, or you can really just act and be in a scene. And that's one thing I really love about Mortal Kombat, because like I said, the writing is so great, and you can just really, really act and be a character, and it's just wonderful. And I love that.
Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, had to ask.
Who would win?
Yeah.
I think it would be really a close fight, but I'm pulling a little bit for Raiden. I think Raiden would pull it out at the end. I really do. I think it would look bad for it looked like Akuma's going to win, and really kind of mop the floor with Raiden for a while. But I think Raiden would pull it off at the end with all of his disappearing stuff and his thunder and lightning, and I think he would get to him eventually.
Now, this is another franchise, like I mentioned. I'm a huge Transformers fan, and you were in Transformers War for
Jonathan, that's his name, Jonathan. I'm sorry, I forgot. Yeah, it was John. It was John. Jonathan was the director of that.
Oh, dope. But I'm a huge Transformers fan. You were Skywarp for Transformers War for Cybertron. Have you watched the Transformers movies and TV shows?
You mean the movies? Yes, absolutely. And I wrote a third of Robots in Disguise, the cartoon series, and I played Armorhide in that. And then I was Skywarp in War for Cybertron. What was really cool was I was really happy for Peter Cullen, because like we were talking about earlier, when you have a favorite person that does your character, and he is, to me, he's Optimus Prime. And I just I thought, and I heard some really bad stories about how they I can't remember the director's name, but he was going,
Michael Bay?
Michael Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Bay was saying, I don't want a voice actor. I want a real actor. Well, voice actors are real actors, and
Yes.
he put Peter Cullen through the mill and had him audition a million times. And you know what? To me, Peter Cullen was the best thing in those movies. I thought he sounded great. He did an incredible job. And it was funny. I saw him at a convention. I said, Peter, I just want you to know I'm so happy that you got to do the voice in those movies. I said, you were great. And he goes, you're happy. And he did very well in those movies, and rightfully so. You know, he's an icon, and he should play that character. So, and he's another lovely guy, really, really sweet guy, and fellow martini lover. So we had a good time with that convention.
That's so dope that you got to meet him, because the Transformers movies are, even though I love them, there's a ton of flaws with them. Like how Frank Welker didn't come to voice Megatron, and I wanted to figure out why he didn't come to voice Megatron. He gave it to Hugo Weaving, and Hugo Weaving notoriously hates Megatron. Like, he hates the Transformers movies. He didn't like doing them at all. And I was like, oh, well, why don't you just...
Why have somebody who... I don't understand that. Why are you doing it if you hate it? Don't do it if you hate it, you know?
And I don't think he was hated, but his quote was, and I remember exactly, I was like, oh, okay. He was like, I didn't care for it. I just did it for a paycheck. And I was like, dang. But when you have Frank Welker, and this was kind of a diss, in my opinion, to Frank Welker's amazing work. Like, he's the godfather of cartoons. Like, he's done so much work in the cartoon field. Michael Bay said that Frank Welker wouldn't be able to do it because he's not menacing at all. And he wanted to give it to Frank Welker. Not Frank Welker, he gave it to Hugo Weaving, because Michael Bay said that Frank Welker wasn't good enough to be Megatron. So that's why and then he came back for the last two. So it's just really weird how voice actors are treated in general, because I just hear how like they're treated and how the response, people are like, oh, voice acting is just voices, when it's really acting. It's just acting. You're basically just performing, and it's not just voices, or voice actors aren't real actors, or they don't work hard enough, or how they don't get cast in movies enough, like Transformers, for example. Like, they're off the sideline, and it's very disheartening when I hear stuff like that. But
I agree with you.
Or Mel Blanc, like, maybe like Mel Blanc is one of the world's big, like, every voice actor I talk to says that Mel Blanc is their inspiration. Like, they love him. And I'm just like, what?
Well, Mel Blanc is he's the godfather of all this stuff. He really created this whole thing in many ways. I mean, there were people doing voices for cartoons and that sort of thing, but Mel Blanc was he was the original man of many voices, where he would come in and do all of the characters, and that was like a big deal, and he was phenomenal. He was really phenomenal. And he was also a guy who worked on camera as well. He did some stuff on camera, but he really found his niche in doing voice work. Listen, it's like anything else. There's stage, there's film, there's television, there's voice work. And to be good in any of those, you need to be a good actor. So, that's the number one bottom line for all this stuff. You have to be a good actor. Right. And you really, you're playing a part regardless of what the medium is that you're performing in. And, that's why it's really a slap in the face to hear somebody say, well, we want real actors, not voice actors. It's like, I train on the stage. I've done film and television. I've done it all. So, and I am a real actor, so I think for people to say that is kind of ignorant, really. But
speaking of movies, I want to get your opinion on the live-action Ghost in the Shell film that many people are not the biggest fan of.
The Ghost in the Shell movie?
Yeah, the live-action with Scarlett Johansson. And
well, I have to say that visually I thought it was beautiful, and it was really well done. And my only gripe about that movie is that I wish they would have stuck to the original storyline. Whereas, they came up with this weird thing where she was kidnapped and made into the Major. And why would they call her the Major? Because the original character, we believe, was in the military, and that's why she has a rank. This one, they just called her the Major for no reason. It didn't make any sense. But that aside, I thought visually it looked incredible, and I just wish they had kept it more closer to the original manga. And but I thought that, I thought she did a good job. She got a lot of heat for that, and she looked pretty good in that suit, I got to say. But she got a lot of heat for it. And when you look at the animation, the animated character does not look Asian necessarily. I mean, and also she can switch bodies, so she could be in any kind of body. She could be in different kinds of bodies.
Right.
So I think that was kind of a weird, and the interesting thing was the people in Japan had no problem with it whatsoever. They thought it was great. The people in America were all pissed off about it. So it's kind of interesting, the dynamics there. I was really glad, and I was hoping that it would be well received so that they could do more of them, but who knows? And everyone gave Scarlett Johansson a hard time about it. But, the reality in show business is that, had they picked somebody else, maybe they wouldn't have gotten the money to produce the movie. So, her name might have greenlit the project, and, but there, honestly, there's been a lot of misfires on a lot of stuff,
the Dragon Ball Z animated movie,
the Dragon Ball Z movie, the Airbender, Last Airbender movie,
awful.
the Speed Racer movie, was weird, visually beautiful, but just didn't really feel like Speed Racer didn't work. And I just think it's a really tough thing to do, and try to make something like that come alive. And like I say, honestly, I think if they had taken the first Ghost in the Shell movie, the one that came out in 1996, I believe, the one that I did Bateau in the first one, if they had done a live action movie of that, I think it would have been a huge hit. They've just done a live action version of that movie with that plot and everything. I think the movie would have been a huge hit. But that's my opinion. They didn't ask me, and they didn't, and they didn't even ask. Oh, yeah, this is kind of a funny story. We have these classic movie houses in LA called the Lemley, and they called me up one day and said, "Hey, we're going to be showing the original Ghost in the Shell movie with your dub. Would you consider coming to the theater and introducing the movie?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." So I went out there and I introduced it. And the thing that's interesting about that movie was when it came out, it was the highest grossing video of that year. It beat out Disney, it beat out Sony, it beat out Warner Bros., beat out everybody. It was the highest grossing video of that year, which was amazing. So, and that thing blew up. And then after the movie, there was a guy sitting in the audience, and I was walking back towards my wife, who was sitting in the audience, and this guy touched my arm. He said, "May I meet you?" I said, "Of course." It turned out he was, I'm going up on his name too, but he played the Togusa character in the live action movie. And he told me that the director gave everybody, DVDs of us doing the show to get an idea what our characters were like. So I said, "Well, that's wonderful, except," I said, "I'm mad at your director." He said, "Why are you mad at the director?" I said, "Well, because he never had me in to audition for Bateau." I said, "He could have at least had me in to audition for, I would have loved to have done that. I could have played the shit out of that." But
yeah,
once again, they don't think about the voice guys,
which sucks. They should really do that more. But now
I would have loved. Plus, I'm much bigger than that guy. That guy wasn't big enough to play Bateau. I'm a much bigger guy.
Who played Bateau? I can't remember, because I remember
he was a Danish actor. I was not familiar with his work, and he did a nice job. I think everybody did a nice job, but I just for whatever reason, I think the script could have been punched up a little bit.
Now I want to transition to the fun part of my interviews called Weird and Wacky. You have 1 minute to answer a series of random and weird questions. No one has gotten to the record of 15 questions, but the new title holder is Simon Norfleet with a record of 14 questions answered. Do you think he could beat Simon?
I can beat him.
All right. All right. I'm going to start the timer in 3, 2, 1. Longest time period without taking a shower?
2 days.
Worst food you've ever eaten?
Brussels sprouts.
A superpower you wish you had.
Invisibility.
Dumbest thing you did as a kid.
Cut a hole in the wall.
Worst drink you've ever drunk.
Shirley Temple.
Favorite movie.
Goldfinger.
Least favorite movie.
Never Say Never Again.
An actor you wish you got a chance to work with.
Laurence Olivier.
Would you rather eat 1,000 scorpions or 1,000 bees?
Neither.
Would you rather drink sweat or drink pee?
Neither.
Food you refuse to cook.
Snails.
Favorite video game?
Mortal Kombat, of course.
Oh, dang it! Oh, you're so close. You got 13 questions. You're almost there. Almost there.
Those are tough, man. Those are some tough ones.
Yes.
Did people actually say, I would prefer to drink a cup of sweat over a cup of urine?
You're the first person I asked, so I don't know what's going to happen next time.
Good Lord. You know, it's funny you asked me about the thing about would you eat this or would you eat that? You know, I always, it's like the Indiana Jones movies, or where they go into the thing and they serve some really gross thing and you go, you got to eat this or you'll insult the chief. It's like they would kill me because I wouldn't eat that shit. I don't care if I insult the chief or not. I'm not eating that fucking thing. Whether I don't care, I'm not eating it. So they would have killed me.
Yes.
So if the chief wants to kill me because I don't want to eat this crap, then they'll have to kill me, I guess.
I'm completely with you right there. But Richard, this is my last question for me, and then I'll ask a couple fan questions real quick. I just want to say thank you so much. It's been such an honor. It's been to talk to you and get your insight into the industry and just see how many people you've been with. And like I said, I love your Raiden, one of my all-time favorite characters in all media, and it's really been such an honor to have you on here. And thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My pleasure.
But my final question to you is, what is your current message to the world during these current times that we live in? Obviously, we're in a global pandemic. There are laws being passed. Things are changing around the world. People are down and in need of hope. What would you say to people who are afraid and in need of that hope?
Well, these are really tough times. And I think that, looking back over the last, 4+ years, you have to see how important your vote is and that people need to get out and vote. And, you see, we had 4 years of an inept, incompetent administration, corrupt administration. And I think it's just really important to get out and vote. And you see now we've had this new president for 50 days, and how much stuff has been accomplished in that 50 days and how many more people are getting vaccinated. And, I just think that it's very, very important. And I think that also I really want to implore anyone who's watching this, please get vaccinated. If you have the opportunity, please get vaccinated. And there's ways for people, I know they're going in age groups and all that stuff. But there's ways to, some of the drugstores are giving shots. And sometimes if you show up like, the end of the day or whatever, they have extra shots and they can't let them go to waste. So you can get vaccinated before your time. But worst comes to worst, please, everyone get the shot so we can all be, vaccinated and we can all get together and have fun again together and go see movies and concerts and restaurants and live a normal life again. I think that would be great. I think we're all tired of being sequestered in our homes, and I think we're all tired of wearing the mask, and I think we're all tired of all that stuff, but we're in the home stretch now, so just please continue to wear the masks. Don't listen to your idiot governors if they say don't wear a mask, because they're idiots.
Texas.
And social distance, wash your hands, and use your intelligence, and don't listen to these idiots that are spewing out these ridiculous conspiracy theories. Yeah. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Texas. Oh my gosh. Oh, something in my throat. But somebody said I couldn't agree more with you there. Fan question is, are you thinking about leaving Raiden?
No, I'm not thinking about leaving Raiden. I hope to play him until I die. So I hope they keep keep using me, and until they use me up. Do 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 do. So it's an old song before your time.
Most definitely. Have you ever met Mel Blanc before he passed away?
I never met Mel Blanc, but I am a huge fan of his work. He is incredible, and he was really one of a kind. He really was one of a kind, and you know, what a legacy he left. You know, seriously, he was the entire.
Right, I didn't even notice how much he was in or what he did. And so I was talking to Kyle Aber, it was Friday, and we were talking about Mel Blanc, and he told me so much stuff about him that I didn't even know, and how influential he was to the VA business. And it's insane. Like,
oh yeah,
he's done a ton.
Yeah, when I say you know, he was the grandfather of this business, he really was the grandfather of this business.
Do you have a favorite Kingdom Hearts quote?
Darkness is the heart's true essence.
My
favorite Mel Blanc role was Bugs Bunny. I love Bugs Bunny. He was great.
Oh yes, I love you some Bugs Bunny. Think that's all the fan questions. Were you a Mortal Kombat fan? I can't read that. Yeah.
Before I was in it, yes, I was a Mortal Kombat fan before I was in it.
Yes. Okay.
And you know, listen, I'm always thrilled to be working and doing stuff, and I always try my best, no matter what it is. If it's something that's not great or whatever, I always try to do my best work. So I don't understand these actors that after they do a job and they come out and say, "Oh, I hated it. I didn't like that," or you know, it was a paycheck or something. I don't get that. I don't know, how does that serve you, really? You know, I don't know how that serves you. And I think if you resent doing a part that much, then perhaps you shouldn't do the part. You should turn it down. You know?
100% was gonna say that. The last fan question, then I'm gonna let Richard be on his way. How come you used you can see it, I don't want to mispronounce their names. It was by Ransom 10. It was coming. How come you used
pseudonyms?
Yes, pseudonyms.
As Honda, and I don't know what that means. When did I use a pseudonym for that? I don't get it.
Hold on. Someone's like asked their question.
Patrick Gilbert. Oh. Yeah, I don't know who Patrick Gilbert was. It's in my IMDb that I used that as an alias. And I honestly don't remember ever using that name as an alias.
Okay. Thirsty for Chicken, ask that question again. So I can ask him, and then... Oh, do you prefer Joker or Raiden?
I love them both for different reasons, you know. As I said, they're like, you know, Zin and Zhang. Yin and Yang, Zin and Zhang. Where's Zin and Zhang? Yin and Yang. They're like yin and yang, you know.
Do you play the games that you're involved in? I was gonna say you probably don't, because
I honestly don't, because first of all, I suck at it. I'm terrible as a gamer. I'm terrible at it. I'm a much better actor than I am a gamer. But I honestly just don't have time to play games because I'm always working. I'm always busy. I'm always doing stuff. So as soon as I get off with you, I'm writing the adaptation to the new Lupin movie that I'm going to be directing. So, you know, I'm just working constantly, and it just, you know, it's good. Some days I wish I could just like take 2 or 3 weeks off and go to the Bahamas and just do nothing, you know, but maybe one day. But it's been, you know, listen, I'm not complaining because I'm one of the few people I am a bit of a workaholic, and I do love to work, and I enjoy my work. I'm really fortunate in that I love what I do. So, you know, that would be my advice to everyone listening too. Find something that you really love and do that, because there's no guarantees in this world. You know, I had a lot of friends who became engineers because they thought that would be a safe profession, and then they got all laid off when the economy went bad. So there's no guarantees. So you might as well do something you enjoy doing, and, you know, hopefully you'll be successful at it and do well. But at least you'll be doing something that you love. And, you know, we got one shot here on this earth, you know, and we might as well enjoy it and do something that we love to do, instead of, you know, dreading every day of our lives going to work at a job that we hate. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, Richard, is there anything you want to plug before we log off?
We've got, like I said, the new Lupin movie is out. I think it's on Netflix. You can watch it. It's wonderful. It's called Lupin the First, the Third. It's a CGI movie. It looks like Pixar did it. I mean, it's really gorgeous. And I wrote the adaptation for that, so please check that out. Mortal Kombat 11, of course, is out with a bunch of new packages and stuff. And what else is going on? A few games that I've been working on that I can't talk about yet. But we got another Lupin movie that's going to be coming out soon that I'm working on right now, and that's about it. That's about all I can talk about. Yes. Wait a minute, I forgot to plug one thing. Thank you for reminding me. One of the fans reminded me of this. My wife and I are in a thing called Life's a Bitch, which is a show that she wrote, and it's really, really funny. And you can go on to YouTube and see the first installment. The first vignette that we did for the show, and it stars Ellen Stern, who wrote it, and stars with me in it, and Stephen Tobolowsky, who's a wonderful actor. You'll recognize him immediately. It's a very funny show. It's on. Go to Life's a Bitch on YouTube, and you can watch it. And then in this week, we're going to be releasing another segment that we shot, and it's really funny. And we're really excited about releasing it and getting everybody to check it out.
Awesome. I will see you guys later. Thank you guys so much. I love you all, and I will see
Thank you. Send me a link to this so I can post it, all right? Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it.
I'll see y'all later. Peace.
All right. All the best, everyone. Stay safe and healthy.